So welcome everybody to our online event. We have Amanda Spear with us today from Premier World Discovery. Hi, Amanda. She's going to tell us about 3 of our upcoming trips. As I understand, we've got 3 really great ones with Premier before the end of the year for those of you that are dying to get out there. So we have Utah's Mighty National Parks. We've got the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta, and we've got Montreal and Quebec Christmas City markets. So I'm going to let Amanda tell us about those.
All right, fantastic. And thank you from everyone at Roseboro for setting this up. Very excited as everyone is to be traveling again. Things have certainly turned around and we are ever so grateful. Hopefully everyone can see my screen. I am going to stop my video just because it's very distracting for me to talk and look at my screen and see my face talk. So I'm just going to stop my video, but there we go. All right, so here we go. I'm going to turn on my PowerPoint. I think everyone at Roseboro can attest, everyone is just ready to travel right now. People cannot wait any longer. We've all certainly seen the phones are ringing off the hook and people are saying, I don't care where I go, just get me out of here. And we are excited. Our tours are filling, especially our domestic tours, and we consider our Montreal, Quebec domestic just as it's North America, but as Roseboro know, that one has been tricky as people are just really excited about that one as well. If you haven't traveled with Premier in Roseboro, a little bit about us. We're based out of Redondo Beach, California. Am I on? Oh, hang on.
You should be. I can still see the screen.
Oh.
I just got rid of my video so I don't distract people from.
Okay. Maybe that's what happened then. Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah.
We're based out of Redondo Beach, California, and we've been in business for over 21 years. These are the 3 owners. I am actually manager of the East. I am here. I am visiting you from Raleigh, North Carolina. So I am on the East Coast as well. But we're very unique in the work that we just partner directly with our partners in the industry. We have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. We are part of USTO, NTA, and ABA. Here are some of our affiliations. We're very proud to be a part of USTOA. And again, this is just basically a good housekeeping seal. Obviously, travel and COVID has certainly unhinged many travel companies. And, unfortunately, some may not make it, but we are very proud that we are part of USTOA, and it's kind of we have been vetted as a solid financial company. On all our tours, whether it's the 3 I'm talking about or any of our other ones, we use fantastic quality hotels that are handpicked to complement the itinerary, whether it's based on where you're off to or proximity to a popular destination. They're all handpicked for their personality and to make a good fit. Many meals are included. We always have a welcome and farewell, and breakfast will be daily, but we also give you a little bit of time to kind of sample the local cuisine on your own as well. If you haven't done a guided tour, I highly recommend it. Really, our tour directors are some of the best and most experienced in the industry, and they really are essential to the travel experience. They just do a great job, not only managing the day-to-day activities, making sure that you get everything you signed up for, but also one of the things I love about group tours is just how much more education you get, what you learn from going. I'm not always the best about reading all kinds of books before I go off to a destination. So here they really soak you in and immerse you in the culture and the people and learn all the interesting stories. We are traveling in a COVID world, post-COVID world, as we merge on out of it. We're not fully out yet, but everything is looking really, really well. And so we will adapt and change at that, but I think here are some things that will be around for a little bit. Face coverings, obviously on the motor coach and on the airplane. Towards the fall, the face coverings on the coach may be dropping as people are vaccinated. Again, we're partnering with our hotels and with the motor coach companies. We're all doing our part just to make it a safe and healthy experience with additional steps ups in, sanitizing high touch areas. Every time you get off the motor coach, they're going to wipe and sanitize all those railings and seats and so forth. And same with the hotels, they are doing their part. So we have a few incentive here for those of you who are, well, joining us or within the next few days. We have some incentives for you for signing up on these tours. And basically, normally it's $300 to hold your spot. So for the next few days, it is $150 to hold your spot. So it's a reduced amount. So and that deposit is fully refundable up until final payment. We know everyone is really looking forward to travel and wanting to get out, but we also know that we don't really, you know, you don't want to sign up for something if for some reason you think you can't get your money back as we, you know, if you're unsure about anything. So final payment, 75 days out. If you decide you don't want to go, you can cancel and get a full refund. And we are also doubling our booking discount. Normally, it is a $100 per person discount, and now it is a $200 per person discount. So the first trip I'm going to talk about, and we do have three, so I'm just going to lightly highlight them. If you have any questions about anything, please, at the end, we'll have a little Q&A, so just jot it down and we can answer those questions for you. But the national parks are so beautiful. The sheer beauty of our national parks truly invoke words like extreme, enormous, breathtaking, and awesome. And this is our America series that we developed in the, you know, during the pandemic, as we knew domestic travel would open up first. And this one certainly has not disappointed. It is just breathtaking. Here you're going to see Utah's Mighty Five. You have Zion, Bryce, Capitol Reef, Canyonland, and Arches. And what's really great about this tour is it's not a one hotel stay, but it's pretty close, right? We fly into Grand Junction and we'll fly home from Grand Junction, but we stay one night in Grand Junction and then the remainders of the nights in Moab. Grand Junction is a smaller regional airport, but it's a great town to fly into, as it's a much shorter drive and doesn't require an overnight near the hotel to return. So included in this tour, you have breakfast every morning. There's 1 lunch and 3 dinners. And here you're going to learn all about these wonderful red rocks and just amazing scenery. These geological rock formations, the buttes, mesa, and plateaus. Buttes were once a mesa, and mesas are elevated areas of median width, and plateaus are larger mesas. So here, fascinating just to see, but we'll welcome you to Grand Junction. Again, the population is about 150,000. It stems from the Colorado River and is the largest city in the western slope of Colorado. It really serves as a hub for transportation between Denver and Salt Lake City. It's actually known for its wine production and its beer scene. So here we're going to have we're going to stay 1 night at the Doubletree in Grand Junction, and then we have 5 nights in the Hyatt Place right in Moab. Here again, the Doubletree, great rooms, has an outdoor pool, fitness center, and so forth. Doubletrees are great property. You know, you get your chocolate chip cookie and so forth. So that next day, then, we're going to tour and we're going to see Colorado National Monument. And this offers just amazing, trails and incredible views of these just amazing red rock canyons and stone monoliths that just jut out from the ground. And no picture can truly kind of give you that feeling. I'm sure many of you have traveled to the Grand Canyon or some of these beautiful national parks we have. And when you are there and just surrounded by nature, it really is something special and gives you that kind of surreal goosebump feeling. And this will as well not disappoint. We'll do this famous Rimrock Drive. It's one of the most scenic drives in the American West. It's about 23 miles, and it just offers wonderful views of the red rock and the blue skies along the Colorado Monument. And it's the Scenic Byway 128. This is the scenic road that travels along the Colorado River just from west of Grand Junction. And it's about 100 miles from Grand Junction to Moab. And about 45 miles are on the scenic drive. So here we'll make our way on this beautiful scenic drive. If any of you have seen the Disney movie, you may have kids or grandchildren or so forth that have the Cars movies. Many of these images are from the scenic highway that they drove. So again, just breathtaking. As we make our way into Moab, again, Moab, this is a town that has over 3 million visitors per year, but its population is only around 5,300. And it is just a perfect point to kind of be our jumping spot off to see these amazing parks. So here, the Hyatt Place, Moab, it's recently just opened. It opened actually in 2018, and it's just a short mile from Moab, and it's a perfect hotel to hub and spoke. And the Hyatt Place are kind of nice. I stay at a lot of Hyatt Places when I'm on the road for work. They kind of have that nice little sitting, relaxing area. All the rooms do. So great property. Here's the outdoor area, just surrounded, just breathtaking. Then we're going to continue on, and we'll get to do this wonderful cruise. This is a few-hour cruise on the Colorado River, and just breathtaking to see the red with the Red River walls, which is just a highlight while visiting the parks, are these boat rides. They offer all kinds of variations of rides. You'll see high-speed jet boats. We're not going to take you on that. We're going to do a little more relaxed, but yet very much a thrilling ride as we cruise down the river. Canyonlands is, to me, your chance to see a bit of the Grand Canyon, Bryce Canyon, and Arches all tied into one beautiful national park. Again, from the deep canyon walls with the green and Colorado rivers below, to the hoodoos and needles and arches and the landscape, it really is just awe-inspiring and breathless. It really, it's located just a short drive, about 30 miles from our hotel. And being some 1,000 feet above the canyon gives a different feel than the Grand Canyon. You can see from the bottom much better. The park is over 330 acres in size. This is the famous Mesa Arch at Canyonlands National Park. And again, it's one of these weird, wonderful, magical places on Earth. These huge arches. Island in the sky. This is the grand view. Canyonlands National Park is one of the world's great places for many off-road adventures, whether it be motorcycle or mountain biking and amazing hiking. But folks get to stand on top of these beautiful views. Dead Horse State Park is located at the end of the mesa, some 2,000 feet above the Colorado River. And if any of you remember Thelma and Louise, I believe this is where they took their infamous drive off the cliff. But here, just beautiful views. Used in the TV show Westworld as well, and Mission Impossible 2. So lots of Westerns and just shows are filmed here. So the day we head to Monument Valley, this will probably be your long day, if there is a long day, or a longer drive day, I should say. It's about a 3-hour drive from Moab to Monument Valley because it truly is in the middle of nowhere and difficult from almost anywhere to get to it. But it is very well worth it. This is Navajo land. And if any of you, here again, Forrest Gump, this is the shot from the movie. And here, this is actually my boss with his wife in the same place. But lots of Westerns filmed here, home of John Ford and John Wayne movies. It has the largest collections of buttes in the world, and countless Western movies were staged here and filmed. Here you'll see Golding's Lodge. This is where the famous director John Ford showed him the photos of Monument Valley. And this is where he said, if you want a Western location, come here. And this is where John Wayne and John Ford filmed many movies. You'll see memorabilia from the sets and Native American artifacts at the lodge. So here we'll enjoy a little Western history, and again, Hollywood and how the West are tied together, and have a wonderful lunch. And there's also a gift shop there for any souvenirs. And then we will do a scenic drive with a Navajo guide and just get a lot of history as we travel these dusty red dirt roads out to several vantage points to see some amazing scenery and sights of countless Westerns. It's a 17-mile drive with all kinds of beautiful red rock in the background. This is the famous Mittens on the left and Merrick Butte is on the right. The Three Sisters is just one of the many famous rocks. Here's a group of all of us out there, way back. So here we'll visit Monument Valley and the monoliths and buttes, the largest reaching over 1,000 feet above the valley floor. This area is part of the Colorado Plateau, and its elevation ranges from 5,000 to 6,000 feet above sea level, truly a geological marvel. So that next day, then you're going to have some free time to enjoy Moab as you wish. Shop at the quaint downtown area. Like I said, it's just a short walk or a mile from the center of the hotel. The hotel has restaurants and bars and jacuzzi and so forth, and just get some time to enjoy the area and the views on your own. Just shots of the downtown area. We'll also provide you an option that day if you wish to keep touring and doing, if you want us to help you out with plans of something to do. So many things to do in the dirt, from the Hummer tours to horseback riding and hiking, all kinds of unlimited adventure for those who want to. Possibly partake in a Hummer tour, which might be a possible optional tour for us. Another one is the Canyonlands by night. And again, this is the sound and light cruise with a cowboy style dinner. And here it's just breathtaking, as your guide points out, all kinds of interesting things. Once it gets dark, the canyon walls light up with over 40,000 watts of light and a narrated show. So less from 5 miles from our hotel in Moab is Arches National Park, and this provides a red walk wonderland. The park has over 2,000 natural stone arches, including the famous Delicate Arch, which is a 52-foot freestanding natural arch. It changes daily due to erosion and wind and weather, but it's one of the most famous and highly photographed. This is Balance Rock. This is over 130 feet tall. All the parks also allow you to explore beyond the walking trails to get a little bit closer to the arches and formations. Fantastic if you're a photographer. So many wonderful pictures here to take. This is Landscape Arch. It's one of the longest of the arches, and it's the 5th largest in the world. Located about 15 miles from Moab is Castle Creek Winery, and they have been making wine since the 1970s. So here you're going to learn about the growing conditions, why this dry, cool land in the evenings help produce wonderful grapes for Pinot, Merlot, Cabernet, and Chardonnay. They have, if you're a wine drinker, they have 30 award-winning wines. You'll get to learn about the growing process and, of course, a little tasting, where we'll enjoy some wine tasting and have a wonderful cookout at the Red Cliffs Lodge, which is a AAA 4-diamond award-winning resort hotel. A beautiful lunch with wonderful views. The Moab Museum and Western Heritage is located right here at the Red Cliff Lodge. All kinds of history of cowboy filmmaking history here, lots of memorabilia, fun to kind of walk through and explore. And we'll have our farewell cookout here, overlooking all the beautiful rocks. So we will return home as we travel back to Junction, Grand Junction for your flight home. So here's everything that the tours includes, your airfare, the national parks, your Grand Junction 5 nights in Moab, everything we talked about. We do offer an option on the free day that you have, and that is additional, and we'll have more information with that. You don't, with your final documents and so forth, you don't need to sign up for anything optional until on the tour to decide if you wish to go. Again, here is the pricing. It is, if you make that final payment by check, you have that $200 booking discount. So it's $30.99, but you make final payment by check. And so it would be, bring it down to $28.99. If you wish to go as a single, there is an additional supplement for that as well. Again, very little rain here. So pretty dry September, warm, but not super hot weather. So again, in the 80s. So that's our Utah's Mighty National Park. And then we will move on as we're going to talk about one of the most photographed events in the world, with all kinds of shapes and colors. Again, another great, if you love to take pictures, an amazing place to take some photography, and it is our Albuquerque Balloon Festival. This once was a festival that started with only 13 balloons in 1972 at the Coronado Mall in Albuquerque, and it's become one of the largest balloon events with about 600 balloons each year and close to 1,000 pilots. So New Mexico and Albuquerque, it has grown to become one of the most amazing places to fly hot air balloons. There's over 50 countries represented from all over the world. Balloon enthusiasts come, but it's kind of called, they call it the box, and it has something to do with just the temperatures that make it an ideal place, where the balloon can take off at low altitudes and then increase their altitudes and drift north with the winds and so forth. But so you'll arrive into Albuquerque and we'll have a welcome dinner. And then that next morning, this is when the dawn patrols begin. And this is the pilots take off before sunrise. So we get you up very bright and early as we make our way to the grounds. And here, it's just breathtaking to see all these balloons starting to rise. They kind of do it in segments or in series, and to see these wonderful balloons just take off into the air. It's the mass ascension is what they call it. So over 100 balloons will lift off in the morning sky. All kinds of shapes and sizes. So you'll get to enjoy. They launch it in 2 waves, and again, just breathtaking. So we'll enjoy our morning here. And again, of course, thousands of people come here, but we do have, or there is for all groups, tour groups that are going there, hospitality tents, you know, with coffee and places to sit and so forth, but lots of just wonderful areas to explore. So you'll have your morning there, and then we're going to head back to Albuquerque, where we're going to tour the city of Albuquerque. Albuquerque is New Mexico's largest city, really features a very diverse culture with very strong Native American, Spanish, and cowboy roots. It's home to over 500,000 residents, and really lots of arts, cultural, and heritage of the Native Americans. So we'll learn of the history, see the University of New Mexico, Historic Chemo Theater. And the Cultural Center. Here, we'll visit this center that depicts the history and culture of the 19 American Pueblo tribes that live here. Again, dedicated to preserving the culture of the American Indian. Old Town's a wonderful area to explore, filled with, again, it has the architecture of these adobe buildings, lots of little restaurants and shops. It's multi-blocks long and just a wonderful area to explore. Some of the colonists, it was kind of created in Albuquerque, laid out by the colonists in the 1700s. So today it's about 10 blocks of this adobe buildings with just all kinds of restaurants, shops, and galleries. And also the San Felipe Church. It's one of the oldest church, constructed in 1793. So we'll spend some time enjoying Old Town area. If you love Southwest or Mexican food, of course, lots of wonderful food here, but it is, you know, you have to be careful with your spices. If you think you like spicy, you might want to check. They'll ask you red or green sauce, and it is next level hot, but wonderful to see the red chilies hanging everywhere and just unique to this area. Here's the San Felipe Church, built in 17. It is the oldest building in the city. So then you'll have a little time on your own, but that evening, we'll head back to the grounds of the Balloon Fiesta. And here you're gonna see the glow. And this is where they basically, in the dusk of the evening, they blow up the propane burners and light up their balloons in the sky. Then we're going to continue on that next day. Bags will be out as we make our way out. As we're going to go to the Bradbury Science Museum, and there's about 60 interactive exhibits that trace the history of the World War II Manhattan Project. Highlights include just the historic research projects related to defense, technology, and they focus on energy, the environment, and the health and global security concerns. So quite fascinating, very well and interesting exhibits. Here we'll arrive into Santa Fe, again, the capital of New Mexico, and a beautiful city. The architecture of Santa Fe is ultra Mexican. City ordinances decades ago mandated that all new buildings kind of conform to the old, and so you will have that appearance of all the buildings. Even fast food restaurants and convenience stores must be painted officially the hues of browns to conform to the adobe style. And there's a few properties that we use here. We use the Hilton and the Inns of the Governor. Again, fantastic property that give the flavor and the culture of Santa Fe. It's one of the oldest US state capitals and is considered a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Here's the adobe buildings. We'll visit the state capitol again. It's a round state capitol, which is kind of unique. And see the plaza area with all kinds of architecture. You'll see all kinds of kind of food trucks and stands and so forth to sample some fantastic food. And perhaps the Georgia O'Keeffe Museum. This is the oldest church in the United States, the San Miguel Chapel, built in 1610. the Loretta Chapel. This is kind of cool. This has been since 1872, and there's basically, it's very mysterious. No one really quite knows, but basically they were building this chapel, and they did not build a stairwell to the top, and they were out of money. So supposedly the sisters of the church prayed and prayed, and a carpenter came and built it, but it is a stairway made of no nails or center support. And they said he used a saw, a square, and warm water. It was built in 3 months. He disappeared. He never took payment for the stairs, and they believe it to be a miracle. The Palace of the Governors. This is the oldest continuously occupied public building in the United States. And here you'll see many of the Native American Indians selling their handmade goods and things. There's just kind of some of the highlights. If you are an art lover, food lover, Santa Fe is definitely kind of, it's always known as rated top in the 3 in the art. Many artists, writers are inspired by the area, and you'll feel when you get there, it's just got a very laid back, kind of relaxed and wonderful feel to it. If you're a Georgia O'Keeffe lover, the fantastic museum, she loved the area and the beauty of New Mexico. Many of her paintings reflected that. So then we're going to continue on as we take the high road, the Taos. This is very much known as a very scenic, beautiful road as we travel through mountains and forest and so forth as we make our way to Taos. We'll visit the El Santuario. This is where many people would flock annually, known for its dirt. They believe the dirt had healing qualities to it. So we'll hear of the history of this and get to see the Santuario. We'll visit Taos again, just a short venture north for another great day of sightseeing. This is one of the most visited towns in the Southwest, made famous, well, just for its beauty, but also as art and skiing. But celebrities flock here as well. Julia Roberts and Val Kilmer are residents. See the hanging chilies. All kinds of history and relics. This Pueblo, this community has been inhabited and is over 1,000 years old and is still active. So you'll get to see and how the Pueblos live, and whether it be the beehive oven and all kinds of unique things about this Pueblo community. It's one of the oldest continuously inhabited communities in North America. That next day, then we will drive home after a wonderful meal, farewell meal. Here again, temperatures in October, upper 60s, 70s, perfect balloon flying weather, and also perfect touring weather.
Amanda, I'm going to interrupt you towards the end of this. I'll let you finish, but we've got a couple questions coming in.
Oh, sure.
So I'll let you finish that out, and then I'll get the questions just before we start into Montreal.
Okay, my next slide is Montreal, so let's ask, hopefully I can answer.
Okay. I think so. So the first one we have was in regards to the Utah trip. And I think it's pretty good for a lot of the trips in any case. So the question was, this trip, how handicapped accessible would you consider it? I do see that it's all the flyers have like a activity level in them. This one's like a level 2, but just kind of giving us a little bit about what those activity levels mean as far as possible issues with getting around.
Well, activity level 2, I would say probably is the majority of our domestic tours. And basically that's based on you're traveling by air and minimal hotel moves. Within the US, we have the ADA laws and so forth. So there's elevators and ramps if so need be. Depending on kind of your disability, I mean, it really is kind of up to the person, right? So there's always a place to sit and just enjoy the views. If you can't do the walking through some of the canyons, there is a walking. And so if you can walk, you know, maybe up to a mile or so forth, you know, not fast, right? But just be able to do that. That's probably would be the maximum, I guess I would say. But we have some people, if that's not within your limit, if you're comfortable and you just want to find a place to kind of park it, which can be done in a lot of places in the United States, it's much easier to do that, and places just to enjoy the view. If you do, you know, we've had at times someone may need wheelchair assistance for when they get tired or so forth, and that you could bring a collapsible one, but you are responsible for it, and your travel partner would be responsible for it as well. So that's kind of where that goes. But the best thing to do is probably reach out to the agency and talk to the ladies there. And if you have a specific need or question, and then we could go to the office and make sure everything is covered.
So the Utah one, being in a level 2 and being within the US, would you say it would be probably conceivable for somebody that could do like partial walking in a wheelchair part of the time?
It could be, yes.
Okay.
Obviously, they might be limited to some of the areas where you go into the canyon, but as long as they're okay with that, you know, it would be okay.
Okay.
Most of the canyons have paths and walkways and different things, so you're not, you know, but I think in arches, that one might be a little more challenging.
And then we've got the next one is actually in regards to the one we just looked at for Albuquerque.
Okay.
So it is in regards to, I believe that's our time in Santa Fe, about the Georgia O'Keeffe Museum. So the question is it part of the tour? And how much time we have inside? I don't see it listed. So
it is not part of the tour, but it is somewhere you could go during your free time.
So during that time that we have a few hours to
after
explore.
Yeah, when you come back, like kind of lunch and after.
Okay, so it's not included, but it would be so sort of at your leisure. So if you wanted more time in there, you could have more time. If you didn't want to spend as much time, then just do a quick in and out and on with more shopping or food or other sites.
Definitely.
Okay. I think that's all I've got so far. So I'm gonna hop back on mute again. But if anybody else comes up with any other questions, pop them in the box, and we'll bring them up with Amanda after she's done with Montreal.
Awesome. Well, we're on our last and final tour to go, and this one is a new tour for us, and it has been very successful. Matter of fact, we have sold out dates. So a handful of seats left on this date. So if this is one you're definitely considering, actually with any of these tour dates are filling, but this one definitely is filling, you want to go ahead and get your registration in. It really is kind of, if you think about what Christmas was remembered from years gone by, just the amazing outdoor handmade, or the markets with the handmade wooden toys, ornaments, and local crafts, with the sounds of carolers and perhaps horse-drawn carriages and so forth on the cobblestone. Really just, you know, and wonderful memories of spectacular Christmas. I can understand why it is so popular. So not only are we visiting these beautiful cities of Montreal and Quebec and experiencing the Christmas markets, which are spectacular, we're also staying at the Fairmont hotels, which, oh my goodness, how wonderful is that? So we're 2 nights in Montreal at the Fairmont Queen, I'm sorry, 2 nights in Quebec at the Frontenac Hotel, and 2 nights at the Montreal Fairmont Queen Elizabeth Hotel. Very historic hotels. So breakfast every morning is included. There are 2 dinners included as well. Here's the Frontenac Hotel. Again, this is Quebec's Quebec City is one of the oldest cities in North America, and very much the cobblestone streets and quaint stores and cozy bistros give it an old world chime. And it really, these cities are just even more lovely with the snow and decorations of the holiday season. Transformed into a Christmas village, right out of a Dickens novel. Again, beautiful scenery. Quebec is North America's only walled city. Here we'll visit the Giles Copper Museum. Montmorency Falls, again, just breathtaking views. These are located at the mouth of southern Quebec, and it's named by Samuel Champlain, the founder of Quebec. The waterfall measures about 83 meters, which makes it the tallest and the 8th highest waterfall in Canada. The Plains of Abraham. Again, we'll enjoy this old world city tour and all the history, and then get to enjoy Christmas in old Quebec City, in the Christmas markets. Breathtaking to see. Wonderful markets with the handmade goods and music and carolers and lights and lots of wonderful holiday treats. We'll visit the Sugar Shack here. We're going to get a taste of how they make the maple syrup. And then we'll travel, and this may be vice versa. It depends on which routing. You may start in Montreal and go to Quebec, or you may go to Quebec and then head to Montreal. But here we'll board the route, and on the train, either way, it's about a 3.5 hours. So a fantastic way to travel between the two cities. And again, the Via Rail is kind of the Canada's version of Amtrak. So again, a very relaxing way as we make our way. Here we'll arrive in Montreal. Again, Montreal is Canada's very different than Quebec in the sense that it's very cosmopolitan. And here we'll get to enjoy this wonderful city as we check into the Fairmount Elizabeth Hotel. Made famous, John and Yoko recorded Give Peace a Chance, if you are a John Lennon lover, in room 1742. And so they still kind of, I don't think you'll be staying in that room, but that's a little piece of, I guess, history there. And again, Montreal, just a beautiful city. It's an underground city where many of it you can get to from the hotel, from the train station. They, due to the weather and so forth, they kind of have these underground cities with escalators and shopping malls, so you can kind of stay out of the elements. But we'll tour the Notre Dame Cathedral. St. Joseph's Oratory. This is one of Montreal's most important religious shrine and one of the world's largest basilicas. So we'll do some city tour and some great sightseeing of all of Montreal. Cartier Square, again, this is a famous square with many markets. Here's some photos of the underground city that I was talking about. Kind of like all underneath the city, connects you all over to all the hotels. Kind of shows the map. We'll visit the Christmas markets here, and this is in the Old Town area. And again, just beautiful of old, very European. You know, many of us haven't been to Europe or traveled greatly for such a time. This is quite something, and just lovely as we celebrate and have a wonderful meal. So here we go. Here, the date again, December 2nd. And the average high in Montreal is 30 and Quebec 25. So it is winter, it is chilly, but you dress appropriately. And of course, we have the underground city and so forth to keep you warm, but definitely will put you in that Christmas spirit. And there are your prices. To sign up, you can simply contact all the ladies at Roseboro here, and they will be happy to get you registered and on the tour. So thank you for joining me. I'm going to try to turn my camera on again. I somehow lost.
Thank you, Amanda. I mean, I can get our video up. That does us no good without you. We did have a couple of things that came through while you were talking about this particular trip. First thing, let's see, it's asked me to start my video.
There we
Or
go.
start my video. All right, there we go. I mean, and you
Took me a
cannot see
minute
her.
to find
Debbie's
it, too.
adjacent to me now. She's joined me. But so first thing we noticed, so we did see we were originally on the December 2nd for Montreal, and I believe it still says that, but it actually, if you want to know how popular it was, it filled so fast, we had to hop to the November 30th just to
Oh, I'm
get
sorry. Yes, I did not change it. Thank you. You should have interrupted me. Yes, November 30th departure.
So if you want to know how popular it is worldwide, it filled so
We had-
fast, they had to give us a new date.
which is filling just as fast.
So I don't know that it's so much a question, but I still appreciate it very much, Miss Donna. Donna Littrell has let us know that the Notre Dame has an evening Christmas show that we would want to attend if it were at all possible. She says it's unbelievable. We always appreciate the suggestions. Yes, one more. And then, so the question that we had that came through was regarding the Christmas markets themselves. Since it does say that we get to go and visit them, do you have an idea of how much time we'll have to kind of have free time in the Christmas markets, or an approximation?
Well, generally, it'll probably be around 2 hours or so. I mean, they'll kind of walk you, introduce you to the area, and kind of narrate kind of what to do or where to go. And then they let you go, and then there's a meeting spot and so forth.
So they can expect at least a couple hours in each market, partly with the guide, and then a couple hours on their own to kind of do what I guess you do best in the market.
Sometimes people like to stick near the guide and kind of walk around, and she'll explore. And then there's those other travelers who want just time on their own to kind of go and explore on their own and take it all in. And so generally we'll say there's a meeting spot and so forth.
And your guide will do both. You can both stick directly by them and also just explore.
Yes, yeah. And for those that like to go off on their own, she'll let them know where to meet, at a designated time.
Let's see, the Christmas markets. What's the total number of markets that we're going to do?
Well, you're doing the Old Town area in Quebec, and then also, I guess it's just 2 markets, but they have like hundreds of stalls of different things in different areas. So you'll be at those 2 markets.
So one in each city. So it looks like as I'm looking over the itinerary, there's one market that's in Montreal, and then a second market that's in Quebec.
Correct.
Or Quebec, I suppose is how I'm supposed to say it. My French Canadian grandmother would be very mad at me for not saying Quebec. Just so you know. I think that's it. If anybody else has any questions about not just Montreal, any other trips, before we let Amanda go.
Yeah, if anyone does know French, Quebec is known as the Paris of North America. So you can dust up and practice.
It's lovely up there. The St. Joseph's. I had a kind of nudged Debbie when it came up, and I was like, ooh, my grandmother bought holy water there.
Yeah.
Yes, she was very excited to be home. So it's a good time. It's really beautiful. So I'm excited about all of the trips.
Yeah, like I said, people are ready to go, and we've all been. I'm speaking to you from my attic. I always make the joke, I'm so ready to get out of my attic. I'm actually finally heading home tomorrow to see my mother. I haven't been able to see her through this, so it's been 18 months. So we're very excited. So
That's wonderful. That's awesome. Okay, so it looks like we're slowing down on the questions, but so first of all, thank you so much, Amanda Spear, for joining us and telling us about all the trips. And if anybody has any questions, or if you are ready to hop on them with us, give us a call at the office anytime. 386-734-7245. Most of you already know that by heart. I know we're on speed dial. Or you can always send us an email to info@roseborotravel.com, or pick your favorite advisor and email them, and they'll be happy to help out too.
thank you, everybody.
Everything. Thanks so much for joining us. Everybody have a great day.